What was meant to be just another episode turned into a shocking finale. In Perry Mason's last scene, the cast learned CBS had abruptly canceled the show, without even informing Raymond Burr, despite his plea to film one final season in color. The cameras kept rolling as the heartbreaking news hit. In a surreal twist, creator Stanley Gardner appeared in the final courtroom scene, tears flowing as 9 years of TV history ended, hiding a secret few knew. Gardner had long distrusted Hollywood. The 1930s films and later radio shows distorted his intelligent legal stories into melodrama. Disillusioned, he refused further adaptations, unless he had control. Then came Gail Patrick. A former actress with legal knowledge and deep respect for Gardner's vision, she gained his trust. Through her husband, Gardner's agent, she forged a strong partnership, leading to the creation of Paisano Productions, with Patrick as president, one of TV's first female executives. When they pitched Perry Mason to CBS, the network wanted a live soap opera format. Patrick rejected it. She pushed instead for filmed episodes like I Love Lucy, a move that ensured quality, reruns, and lasting impact. CBS went ahead with The Edge of Night, but Patrick's vision won out. Perry Mason became a timeless classic. In 1956, Paisano Productions took a $100,000 risk to film the pilot, The Case of the Moth-Eaten Mink. Gardner was stunned. It was the first time his creation had been done right. Still, casting the right Mason proved tough. Big stars like Fred MacMurray and William Holden auditioned, but none fit. Gardner had one problem. He never described Perry Mason's appearance. The character was all about intellect and presence, not looks. Enter Raymond Burr. He didn't audition for Mason at all. He came in to play District Attorney Hamilton Berger, the villain. But as Burr read opposite Mason hopefuls, something became clear. He was stealing every scene. His commanding presence was undeniable. Eventually, the producers gave him a shot. And when Gardner saw the screen test, he jumped up and shouted, "That's Perry Mason!" After years of failed adaptations, Gardner finally saw his vision come to life. Burr had the role. The supporting cast was chosen just as carefully. Barbara Hale became the devoted Della Street. William Hopper, who'd auditioned for Mason, became Detective Paul Drake. William Talman played Mason's courtroom rival, D.A. Hamilton Berger, and Ray Collins stepped in as the skeptical Lieutenant Tragg. Their chemistry was instant. When the show premiered in 1957, viewers felt the magic. Burr's transformation was dramatic. Gail Patrick told him he had the part but needed to lose weight. He shed nearly 100 pounds in a month. Though he gradually gained some back during the series, his performance never wavered. The pressure was real, but Burr pushed through, delivering one of TV's most enduring portrayals. Perry Mason wasn't just another courtroom drama. It was built on real legal credibility. Producer Ben Brady, a practicing lawyer, brought courtroom authenticity to the scripts. Jean Wang, the story editor, was also a law school graduate. Gail Patrick herself had nearly pursued law before entering Hollywood. Together, they shaped every detail, from how a lawyer entered the courtroom to how they delivered cross-examinations. Casting wasn't just about acting, it was about believability. The team spent 2 full years refining every aspect before the show aired, but it all hinged on one thing: Gardner's total creative control. He didn't hand Mason over lightly. He stayed involved, ensuring the show stayed true to the character he'd created. Earl Stanley Gardner didn't just sell the rights to Perry Mason, he took control. He struck an unheard-of deal: 60% ownership and full script approval. Every script passed through his sharp legal eye. These weren't notes, they were mandates. Writers feared his precision, but Gardner had seen Hollywood ruin Mason before, and he wouldn't let it happen again. He even created a show, Bible, dictating exactly how Mason should speak and behave. CBS agreed to all of it, just to secure the rights. Gardner remained hands-on through all 271 episodes, still writing novels on the side. The pilot, The Case of the Moth-Eaten Mink, filmed in 1956, looked nothing like standard TV. With its dark lighting and noir style, it felt more like a detective movie than a courtroom drama. There were gangsters, hidden messages, even a shootout. Burr, slim and sharp in a tough guy hat, looked more like a PI than a lawyer. Though the style softened over time, the tone stayed serious and smart. This wasn't just a show. It was a statement. Legal drama done right. When Perry Mason debuted in 1957, no one expected it to explode, but it did. Season 1 landed in 43rd place. By Season 3, it was in the top 10. At its peak, it ranked 5th, drawing 15 million households every Saturday night. CBS, seeing its success, moved it to Thursdays in 1962, and it still thrived. Over 9 seasons, it stayed in the top 20 until Season 8, becoming one of TV's most consistent hits. It even helped CBS battle NBC's Bonanza. But Perry Mason wasn't just a ratings winner. It earned critical acclaim. It received an Emmy nomination in its first year. Raymond Burr won 2 Emmys, and Barbara Hale won 1 as Della Street. Burr was in nearly every scene, and audiences loved him for it. The American Bar Association honored the show with its first Silver Gavel Award for legal accuracy. TV Guide readers voted it a favorite, and the love wasn't just critical, it was personal. Saturday nights at 7:30 became a national ritual. Families cleared their schedules. Even nuns reportedly called CBS when an episode didn't air. Burr understood that connection. He visited fans, responded to letters, and always made time for those who loved the show. When it ended in 1966, fans had grown up with it, and they weren't ready to let go. That loyalty lasted. When the Perry Mason TV movies began airing in 1985, the same fans came back. The show wasn't just popular, it was part of American life. In the golden age of television, Perry Mason stood alone. Every Perry Mason episode followed a trusted formula. Someone died, someone got framed, and Perry always cracked the case. He was the unbeatable courtroom hero, until 1963. In the case of the deadly verdict, Perry Mason lost, for the first and only time. His client, Janice Barton, was convicted of murdering her aunt and sentenced to death. Viewers were stunned. Perry's flawless record was shattered, but he didn't quit. Perry dug deeper, uncovering a lie in Janice's alibi and exposing a scheme involving switched medication. The shock was so great, the episode was pulled from reruns for over 20 years. When it finally re-aired in 1988, it had become the stuff of legend. The show took another bold swing in 1966. During its 9th season, the case of the twice-told twist aired in full color. Perry's car was stripped by a gang of thieves, and for the first time, viewers saw Raymond Burr's piercing blue eyes. But the experiment divided fans. The color looked artificial, fake blood appeared pink, and the courtroom lost its gritty realism. Some said it felt like watching a stage play. It was the only color episode ever aired. Shortly after, the show was canceled. Still, Perry Mason had already pushed boundaries. In 1959, the case of the Blushing Pearls broke new ground with an all-Japanese cast, including Nobu McCarthy and a young George Takei, years before Star Trek. Set in Little Tokyo, the episode treated Japanese culture with rare respect for its time, using authentic music and settings. It even hinted at Takei's future, with a subtle reference to pearls from the Sulu Seas, a surprising nod to his eventual role as Sulu. The show also marked a milestone with Bill Walker, the first black actor to have a speaking role on Perry Mason, playing a night watchman. Not every risk Perry Mason took paid off, but the show never shied away from pushing boundaries. In 1963, it featured a black judge, played by real-life legal pioneer Vince Townsend Jr., in the case of the Skeleton's Closet. But the moment fell flat. He had no lines, no credit, and the courtroom was oddly silent. It felt more like a missed opportunity than progress. Then came a scandal that nearly ended a career. In 1960, William Tallman, who played D.A. Hamilton Berger, was arrested in a police raid, accused of lewd behavior at what the press called a nude marijuana party. 4 days later, CBS fired him, despite having no trial or proof. His name vanished from the credits. By June, the charges were dropped, but CBS refused to bring him back, until Raymond Burr, producer Gail Patrick Jackson, and even creator Stanley Gardner stepped in. Fans flooded the network with letters. Finally, in December, Tallman quietly returned. He never complained, staying with the show until its final episode in 1966. Reflecting on his role, he once said, "In a fair justice system, failing to convict an innocent person is actually a win." Meanwhile, Ray Collins, Lieutenant Trag, was battling emphysema. As his health declined, Wesley Lau was brought in to gradually take over. Collins made his final appearance in 1964, but his presence remained respected on set. Raymond Burr, too, was exhausted. By 1962, after 150-plus episodes, he wanted out. But CBS persuaded him to stay, offering money, perks, and playing on fan devotion. By 1966, they made one last pitch, a full-color season. Burr finally agreed. Then, without warning, CBS canceled Perry Mason. Burr learned the news in a trade paper. No call, no notice. The cast was stunned. While filming the final episode, the case of the final fade-out, emotions ran high. Creator Earl Stanley Gardner even appeared as the judge, ending the series on a poignant note. The cancellation came after CBS moved the show against Bonanza, tanking its ratings. After 9 years and 271 episodes, Perry Mason was over. But its legacy endured. It wasn't just a legal drama. It was a television institution that shaped a generation and left a lasting mark on pop culture. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.